Hi, and welcome back to the Story Records. I'm your host Fuzz, as per usual, and in today's episode, we'll be talking about by far the most challenging story I've had to write, period, or at least for now, because there are several other things I've been working on, and it's still not as difficult as this one. The Moment She Realized is just something, probably because the genre is romance, and I just suck at romance because I'm probably not romantic or whatever. But point is, yeah, this was challenging. There were many alterations done to it. There was this writer's block that I faced while I was writing this, and just things happened. And I was also writing it in the middle of like the semester at the time, so there were already many things in the way, and I was pressured to finishing my website early because I felt like I'm kind of behind. For some reason at that time, a lot of people were already starting their projects, like they were already promoting it on their social media accounts and everything, and I was like, I feel like I should catch up. And yeah, pressure, stress, whatever, it's normal. But yeah, The Moment She Realized, you can find it on my Ko-fi shop alongside It Begins Here. It's the other story that's bundled up with the previous one in the last episode. So yeah, if you want to see how it is for yourself, be my guest. Personally, I don't know exactly how I feel about it. Like, I like it. I just feel like there could be improvements. And like I said, it's probably due to the fact that it's a romance story. Like, I'm gonna work on that because I want to write so much. Like, I read a lot of romance, but for some reason I can't write it. Like, I can't write one as good as the ones that I read. I mean, clearly because I'm not as experienced, but yeah, for someone who reads a lot of romance, I expected it to turn out, I expected it to be more, heart-fluttering in a way. Because when I read this a couple days back, because, I want to like refresh my memories on what I wrote, I didn't really feel like, I didn't feel like there were butterflies in my stomach, or I wasn't kicking my feet in the air or anything. It was okay. It was an okay read. It didn't really evoke any feelings specifically. But yeah, other than that, it's something. And so I guess I'll talk about what inspired me to write this, right? Because if I suck at it, like if I suck at romance, why write it? Well, first of all, I just, I want to try out as many genres as I can. There's so many genres in fiction. There's sci-fi, fantasy, thriller, horror, so much more to explore. And romance just happens to be one of them. And I felt like because I have that experience reading so much romance, I thought maybe I can. And I can. It's just not there yet. But I kept it up on my website because even though I felt like there could be improvements, like I said, I still like it. And I don't want to remove it. Aside from the fact that I liked it, I also don't want to like remove a part of my journey, so that one day when I inevitably get better in writing, I can look back into, the past, look at the story and think, wow, I really came a long way, I just want to see that happen. And so I kept it up. And also, who knows? Maybe you will like it. Maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm the only one who thinks it's cringy. Maybe it is cringy. Who knows? But yeah, it's up. Go see it for yourself. But so yeah, I was inspired to write it, namely because I wanted to try it out, and also the fact that at that time, for some reason, I kept listening to Taylor Swift on repeat, specifically Wildest Dreams. And I don't know, something about that song, well, at least at that time, made me feel like I was in love with the Nair, because I don't have anyone I'm interested in as of now. But yeah, that song just made me feel like I was in love or something. And I felt compelled to write something, but I wasn't quite sure what to start with. So I went to the prompt generator website that I always use to, find an inspiration when I feel like writing. And the prompt that they gave me was something along the lines of, she realized she might be alone for the rest of her life. And I thought that's something that I could resonate with. So maybe I should write something that's based off of my experience, how I feel like I might be alone for the rest of my life, because sometimes I do feel that way. And it's not in a negative connotation. It's more of like how I feel like I can be alone in the future. And I'm fine with that. It's just, like it's just a thought that I have from time to time. But yeah, it just so happens that the prompt just matches what I felt like writing at the time. And then there was this Taylor Swift song and everything, so I was like, okay, I'll start writing. And first half of the story, loved it, and then I didn't know how to expand on that. I started off with introducing the main character, who I gave a name. In the story, her name is Ivy, but initially I wasn't going to give the character a name. It was just supposed to be she. Like, there wasn't supposed to be a name for she's supposed to be like an anonymous character or some sorts. But yeah, I ended up giving her a name, which was Ivy, because there was interaction with her and the guy she, fell in love with or whatever. And it would be weird if the guy just didn't call her by her name or something, or just suddenly called her by her pet name or a nickname. It's still a name, so it would be weird if I didn't give her a name. So I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna call her Ivy, I guess. And yeah, she's Ivy. But initially, she didn't have a name, and I wanted to stick with that. So it was kind of a bummer that I couldn't go with that, like stick with the no name character towards the end. But it's all right. I could work on another story with that structure, in the near future. So it's not a big deal. But yeah, when this prompt was generated, I thought I wanted to write a story of a girl who really didn't have a chance in romance. And I've changed the plot line for like a number of times, I think 4 or 5 times. And at some point I actually like hated all of the alterations, like all five modifications I made to the story. I just hated it. So I reverted back to the first draft, which was the final product, ironically. But I didn't delete them though. Like, even though I hated them, I would just, cut them, like cut them and paste them into a separate document. And there was 9 pages worth of deleted stuff. Just a dump of removed dialogue and plot lines, but there's no actual development or progression. It's just, lines or dialogue and stuff that I didn't like, and I just removed. But I kept them there because I feel like I could still reference them in case I want to use any of them for future work. It's just that I didn't feel like they fit in this story in particular, so I just deleted them. And there's also this thing where I went through writer's block in the middle of writing the story. To be fair, I was also working on other things at that time. I was in the middle of the semester. I was pressured, and I was like, yeah, I'm not quite sure how to continue this. And I was also burdened at the fact that this was romance, and I knew by the time I couldn't write anything past the halfway point, I was like, yeah, I don't think romance is my genre. I just don't think it's a genre I can write confidently in, at least for the time being. So I guess that gnawing thought at the back of my mind probably just, influenced how I wrote. I felt even more self-conscious when writing the dialogue or some of the scenes. I'm just like, is this too in your face? Is this too obvious? Like, I don't want to make it too obvious. I want to make it nuanced, but not too nuanced. I want it to be the right amount of, how do you say, I want the scene to evoke a feeling. I'm just not quite sure how, and I don't want it to be all over the place. I don't want it to be too obvious that this is what I'm trying to make the readers feel. But you know what? It's whatever. In the end, I was just like, you know what? If I'm gonna think about this, if I'm just gonna think about this, I'm never gonna finish the story. So I just wrote whatever I felt like goes, and read it. And I was like, that's not too bad. And even though I nearly dropped it, I still decided to pick it back up and post it because I adored a lot of the things that I wrote. And even though there were many things that I removed, the things I kept were things I was quite proud of. And, well, no, really proud of. There was a lot of lines in this story that I was like, yeah, this is a banger. And I was like, I hope you feel that way too. But yeah, it's to each their own, right? But regardless, even though there was this whole issue of the writer's block thing, I I guess it was this thing about how I was already working on this story that I felt kind of guilty to move on to the next, which was what trapped me in the writer's block. But I kind of got out of it after I wrote something on the side, which is going to be the next story I'll be talking about in the next episode, block. So I wrote that in the middle of my writer's block, and it kind of helped me ease out and kind of picked up the pace for this for the moment she realized, and I started working on it with less pressure after I wrote block. And so yeah, I managed to finish it. That's what you'll see. The final product is basically what you'll see on the website. But yeah, it was a journey. It was a stressful one, but it was a journey regardless. And despite, how I felt about how it could have been better, like I said, I still like it. If not, I would have just removed it. And so yeah, it was something. And there's also this thing I wanted to talk about, because recently Taeyeon from SNSD, she's a Korean idol, K-pop idol. She came back for her solo. She came out with a solo album, her third full-length album titled I Envy You, and she had this title track by the same name, I Envy You. And I read somewhere, I think it was a YouTube, I don't remember, it was either a YouTube comment or a tweet. Someone said, I'm not too sure how real this is, because I didn't fact check this prior to recording this, but so someone said that Taeyeon, or someone said that someone witnessed or something, I don't remember, but basically they said that Taeyeon had to fight her company to promote the title track, because it was initially going to be something else, I believe. Like, the company wasn't a huge fan of the song that she's promoting right now and wanted to give her a different song to promote. But Taeyeon said that she really liked this song, and because of that she wanted to promote it because she really liked it. And when I read that, I was like, that's just so wholesome, because it's just so comforting to know that, aside from the fact that she's promoting a song that she likes, it's also the fact that, because I also like the song, it's, how do I say it? It's like, because I already like the song, but hearing her say that, it kind of elevates my appreciation for it. I just felt like I like it even more now because of what she said. And I mean, usually that's the case with like singers in general. Like, it's not that every comeback they just come back with a song that they think will like sweep the charts, but not necessarily like it. But you don't really hear that often. Like, usually, especially in the K-pop industry, you're not too sure if the idol actually likes the stuff that they're making. So for me, it was so comforting to know that she liked the song. And it's the same case with other things like books or just other media that I consume. Like, pretty recently, I found out through this post, they translated this author's note by this. Well, if you know me in real life, you would know that I really like JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, and the creator Hiroki Araki said in one of his author's note, which this post translated, that he felt like his creativity peaked while he was writing the last few chapters of this one part of JoJo, because JoJo is split up into parts. So the specific part, he said, and for that specific part, he said that he felt like his creativity peaked in the last final chapters, and that he was really satisfied with how this part ended. And it's just so good to hear that. Like, it's just such a good thing to know, because the fact that he's been working on, like, JoJo's been around for like years now. It's been running since like the 1980s. Late 1980s, and it's still ongoing now, because he's gonna release the next part, which is part 9, and that just I'm excited for that. But there's just so much that he's making, and the fact that he's been working on this for so long, and the way that he said how he felt like his creativity peaked, or that he's improved in writing, it's such a good thing. Like, it's good. Like, I feel like everyone should get that pleasure of witnessing their own improvements. And which is why anytime a friend would ask me what they should do, like, there was this one time a friend asked it was like a poll on Instagram at that time. We just finished SPM, and this colleague, this acquaintance of mine, made this Instagram poll and asked if she should pursue teaching or law, and I voted law, and then I said good luck or something. I don't remember what I said, but I replied to her story and said good luck with it. And then she said she was torn between teaching and law, because she really wants to do law, but her parents really insist on teaching, and she felt kind of burdened in choosing because she didn't want to let her parents down or whatever. And I said to her, like, if you're gonna do something, like, might as well do something that you would enjoy, because, or at least something you would want to do, because, like, in the end, this is your future. Like, I know your parents play a role in this, but if in the end you're gonna make the decisions, so might as well start now. So I said, just pursue law, because if that's what you want to do, then do it, right? And recently I hadn't contacted her in a while, but recently I heard that she's now what's the word? She's now continuing, like, furthering her degrees in law, and that's just such a good thing to know. Like I said, like, people should have that pleasure. Everyone should experience the pleasure of being able to do something they like and enjoy. And of course there will be times where you feel like it's difficult, but in the end it rolls back to you, right? Like, if it's difficult, like, there will be times where you will find the things you like doing difficult, but will that diminish your passion for it? Like, there will be times where you have to evaluate how, okay, this is getting difficult, but do I still like doing this? Or is this just getting stressful at this point? I don't feel like I'm enjoying it anymore. Like, there will be times where you have to evaluate for yourself, because even then, even if it was once your passion, you can't always keep up with it for, like, forever, right? Because for me personally, I kind of fell off the train of writing at some point. I feel like that would be pretty obvious, because it's been a while since I wrote anything like fiction, and it was only until recently that I started picking it back up, and it's like starting from square one. And I'm also experimenting with my writing style, seeing what I can do and all that. And at some point I just stopped, and I would question myself, like, did I like doing it? I did. And I would ask, why did I stop? And it's just because it's either I didn't have the time to, or I didn't feel like doing so, or nothing just really inspires me anymore. But it's still something that, even though I fell off of, at the time I was taking that break from writing, I still wanted to get back into it. I just needed the reason to. And for me, it was this final year project. It was what brought me back here into writing, and I'll forever be grateful of that. Obviously, I mean, I'll be grateful for my diploma regardless. I get to meet, like, amazing people, got to pretty much find myself in a way, because I feel like my school days were probably the most confusing days of my life. I wasn't sure where I was, what I was, who I was. And with my diploma years kind of, like, helped me find where I fit in, whether it be in society or just myself. I just feel like I've discovered so much more about myself, and yeah, I'll be grateful of that, of course. But this FYP in particular really helped me find this interest again, and I hope that it'll remain, obviously, because, like I said, I still do enjoy it. Just, if you do something and you enjoy it and you feel like it's getting stressful, always evaluate. Do you enjoy it? Do you still like it despite the stress and stuff like that? Do you see yourself doing this in the future? It's always important to evaluate that, because there will also be things where you will have interests that are heavily influenced by your environment. Like in my case, there was at one time I was obsessed with something. I don't remember what it was, but there was something I was obsessed with at some point. And eventually I fell off of it, and I realized I didn't actually like it. I just told myself I like it because everyone else liked it. And it just feels weird, like liking something that you don't actually like, but you just do it because everyone else does. Like, it's not you. And I don't know. This is slowly getting philosophical. Okay, so yeah, I hope that you get to do things that you like too. And same case for me, I hope that I get to do things that I get to continue doing things that I like to do. But oh my god, it's already 20 minutes. Okay, so I think I'll end the episode here. There's not really anything else to talk about, or else I'll just suddenly talk about the next short story, because I also want to talk about that, obviously, but that'll be saved for the next episode. So I'll see you then. Also, I almost forgot about this. So in the last episode, I said I wanted to put in this song that I was listening to while I was writing something as the outro. So like in the case of the last episode, it was Big Bang's Sober, which I inserted like a part of it in the end. Yeah, I'm not gonna do that anymore because it just feels weird and sort of out of place personally. So at least for the time being, who knows, maybe in the future I'll bring it back for some reason, but as of now, I'm just not gonna insert the music anymore as the outro, even though, like I said, even though I listened to Taylor Swift, I'm not gonna do that because it just feels weird, out of place, it felt awkward. And yeah, I just thought I'd address that because I don't want it to be so that when you listen to an episode and then you're like, why does the previous one had a song, why does the previous one have a song but this one doesn't, okay, yes, I just thought I'd say that. So anyway, I'll see you in the next. Have a nice day. Bye.